Sit back, I'm about to sit back, I'm about to begin. Sit back, I'm about to begin.
The Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL with a top 5 quarterback. That is without question. However, the Bills have some real issues on their current team. For one, they have a defensive-minded head coach. They haven't been the same offense since losing their OC and Brian Dable, and they just lost their defensive coordinator in Leslie Frazier. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of issues within the coaching staff alone. But the Bills have an even bigger issue, and it's ironically at the same position that DHop plays. I was talking to our guy Mark Reynolds about this yesterday, and he didn't even think about some of these things that I had presented to him about this possibility and the scenario of him going to the Bills. Since 2020, the Bills have had one of the best offenses in the NFL. Many credit Josh Allen, and rightfully so. He's blossomed into one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But what was the biggest reason for that change from 2018, 2019 to 2020 to present? Trading for Stephon Diggs.
Right.
Diggs has been the staple that has held the Bills' offense together and took Allen to a level we never saw him come close to in his first 2 seasons. What was the last thing we saw or heard from Stephon Diggs? He was on the sidelines screaming at Josh Allen with his arms in the air out of anger and frustration because he wasn't getting the ball enough in their blowout postseason loss at home to the Bengals. Diggs then fled the stadium and immediately after the game avoided all media, and he's pretty much avoided all media ever since. Then, this offseason, we've seen that Diggs did skip OTAs. Now, in fairness, obviously, they're voluntary, but along with that fact that the season, the way it ended, Diggs is also coming up on a contract year. It's hard for me to believe that bringing in another alpha top 10 wide receiver,
target hog,
another target machine, is going to be what makes Diggs less angry.
Yeah.
You bring in DHop, you take even more opportunities away from Diggs, and he's already shown that he's not okay with that as it's currently constructed. Not to mention the fact that the Bills play in one of the toughest, if not the toughest division in football as it is current to date. If winning is DHop's biggest want, why would he choose the toughest path? I get that he and Von Miller are BFFs, and that's been stated over and over again. But Von Miller may not play next season. And he's 34 years old on his way out of the league anyways. I honestly don't think, despite what everyone's trying to suggest, and this is the top dog, even betting odds, I think the Bills are still at the top. I still don't buy into this scenario. I don't think it actually makes a lot of sense for either side, which is why I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the Bills are the team. I do think that they are obviously a team that has a chance.
Von Miller would disagree with you.
Von Miller would vehemently disagree with me, and I understand why. But the point is, the Bills are a team that have a lot of structural problems, as I've already stated.
And we had a comment from James T. Kirk. Shout out, James.
Yeah,
he even threw in the extra comment as well as Gabe Davis is still there, who also takes a lot of targets as well, who's in a blossoming player year by year. So
yeah. They have some decisions to make with him as well, because I think this is year 4 for Gabe Davis.
He just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, so they're going to have to wonder, do we extend Gabe Davis?
Right.
You know, like that. There's
he
a
probably
lot
won't
of
be
questions.
a Bill after this season.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Their offensive line. Is their offensive line going to be really good this year?
Right.
How good is their defense going to be again without Leslie Frazier? And how much more pressure is on McDermott?
That's the biggest move right there.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just, for
and
me,
they've lost defensive pieces.
Yeah, for DHop's perspective, I'm just looking at this, I'm wondering, is this really my dream scenario to try to win a Super Bowl?
No.
Like, you know, from the outside looking in, you got Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and guys like that, but it's like, I feel like he'd be stepping on toes. They would oversaturate their wide receiver core, and I just don't know if it's actually going to be as feng shui as people believe it would be.